Hey guys, what's up and welcome back to my channel. Now, usually I upload Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. I ended up taking down Wednesday's video, and some of you may be confused, hence why I'm explaining this. If you already know why, if you read my tweets, whatever, I'll put a point where you can just skip my little disclaimer. So basically, I posted a video discussing Trisha, kind of Shane and Jeffree as well, a lot of bigger influencers that have been generally in quite a bit of drama for the past few years at this point. Now, after posting, a couple of people, quite a few people, commented on an error I made in information, and so then I just decided to take down the video and redo it instead of just cutting out a part or leaving a pinned comment, because then it wouldn't make sense at all. This video is not going to be the exact same, mainly because when I read the feedback, I was like, okay, let me restart my thought process on this. Let me just try and look at this from a completely different perspective and see where my thoughts end up falling. So if it seems different, it is different. It is not by any means identical. That's kind of the point. So I can fix any misinformation there may have been in the prior video, and I'll underline where I was wrong when we get to that point of the video. Before we get into this video, as you know, content like this is often demonetized, so I'd like to thank today's sponsor, Adam & Eve. Adam & Eve is America's favorite adult store. Not only does it come with discreet packaging, but they also donate 20% of their profit to help fight the spread of HIV around the world. They also have a 24/7 customer service and have 90-day no-hassle returns. If you go to adamandeve.com and use code GLARE, you'll get 50% off one item and free shipping in the US and Canada. Thank you, Adam and Eve, for sponsoring this video. I know that most of us, including myself and many of the people I know, are tired of hearing about Shane, Jeffree, Ryland, and even Trisha to some extent, mainly because there has been so much going on that it felt like those names were everywhere all the time for a couple of months. Now I think it's died down a little bit, but I do think that certain things are shifting, which is why I think it's interesting to talk about it now and why I didn't really talk about it all that much while things were happening. But to frame everything, we need to start kind of at the beginning of where I think I started to see a change. And maybe you saw a change earlier. Trisha Paytas a while ago came out saying that on a trip that she went to Vegas with Jeffree Star, Jeffree was being very mean to her. He was critiquing and being just gross about her appearance, her body, what she was eating, which is already something that you should just never do to anyone, period. But especially because Trisha has been pretty vocal about the fact that she has struggled with body image, and obviously nobody deserves to be called fat, ugly, whatever someone wants to use to insult you.
Jeffree Star unfollowed me. I don't know why, but that's on Twitter.
Wait, I thought you guys were dogs.
Yeah.
He unfollowed you?
Well, I think we had like a little issue earlier this summer where I didn't like defend him as hard as I defended Shane, so I feel like maybe there was an issue there. I don't know. Jeffree, I'm sorry. We had a little issue in Vegas too. I mean, he was always super cool to me until like the last trip. He like made fun of my weight and skin and stuff like that. So
he made fun of your weight?
Yeah. The guy that was filming stopped becoming friends with him, and he was like filming him like talking
What did he say about
skin.
you?
Just that I was fat and I had greasy skin and my hair sucked.
What? Why would he say that about you?
I don't know. It was shocking because he invited me on this trip and I didn't go out with him to the club.
It then came out that Jeffree Star's wig person named Hair by Jay had also really engaged in that kind of mean girl behavior. This all came to a climax essentially when Jeffree Star quote unquote dumped Hair by Jay, essentially tried to act like he was no longer going to connect himself with people who show those kinds of toxic or negative traits. But then not long ago, Hair by Jay posted, I believe it was an Instagram story, I will insert it here, saying that he colored and installed Jeffree's wig after Jeffree had said that they were parted. So there could be a very easy explanation. This picture was from before they parted, or, you know, maybe they still are working together and Jeffree just said that as a way to disconnect himself from any negativity. Hair by Jay did do a live stream, and I'll put a piece of it here. It's honestly not a very productive live stream. I just think he's being mean. There's nothing being explained. You're not really gaining anything from it. I really do think it was like a mean girl type live stream, which I'll insert here.
Oh my god, I can't, you fucking delusional. Oh my god, I wanted to commit suicide so many times. And because like, oh my god, like I felt so awkward. And you know, they were fat shaming me, and he charged me double, and I couldn't pay, and they were making fun of my skin, and I thought we were friends. I thought we were cool, and I should have talked about it and all that shit. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. You stupid, dumb, Warts. Yes. Sorry, I was ranting on this bitch. Let me tell you something, you stupid Warts looking ass full of warts. Bitch. You know what pisses me off? You know what pisses me off? That I actually liked her. I actually got along with her. I have her music on my motherfucking phone. Okay? I have her music on my phone because I actually like her. And the bitch gonna try to lie just because she's on her feelings. If a person is so negative to you, right? This was on fucking February of 2020. Why did you have this person come to your podcast?
I'm not kidding when I say I'm like genuinely scared. I was just dissatisfied with the service. That's it. I was nice. I was polite. I've been nice and polite to Jeffree throughout all his cancellation last year. I'm sorry, like, I'm fat. I'm sorry that I rent my house. I'm so hurt and disgusted by all of this.
Now, in the original video that I made for Wednesday that I took down, error that I made is that I said that Trisha only outed a member of Vlog Squad called Brandon Calvillo after her and Vlog Squad severed their ties. That was the error because she had outed him prior to the severing of Vlog Squad. Like, that essentially was the breaking point where she called him out for being creepy because he was allegedly dating a 17-year-old when he was 24 or 23. The timeline is very blurry there. In a video that I'm going to insert a clip of from the Frenemies podcast because they were discussing everything to do with this.
So you've been seeing this girl for a month?
Around a month, yeah.
Do you love her?
Fuck off.
Is Brandon good at sex?
Honestly, yeah.
She's 17.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, Brandon. What's up?
What? Anyway,
She couldn't
listen.
get into Jason's party because she wasn't 18. Like, I knew about this. That's when I distanced myself. And Jason would always be pissed at me that I wouldn't film with Brandon. I'm like, he's an actual, like, pedophile. And we're actually, like, and he's, like, 24.
Trisha called out this creepy behavior before there was the entire falling out. In fact, it was part of it, as far as I understand. Ended up connecting back to Shane Dawson and Ryland because Shane Dawson and Ryland are still, as far as we know, connected to Jeffree because Ryland even had him on their podcast, and there has been no attempt that I've seen to separate themselves. Now, Shane Dawson has kind of been in hiding on the internet. Trisha essentially completely straight up admits that she's no longer friends with Shane, that she defended him blindly because she believed he was a good person, but he's been feeding people information.
And the reason I'm so vocal about this, everyone's like, get over it, whatever. The reason I'm so vocal about it is because I was so vocal for him, being like, Shane's a good person, all this. No, Shane's like a piece of shit person. And like, I don't know any of this stuff because I blindly defended him, so I don't know like these other things that were happening. But honestly, he's like a shit person. So I just have to reiterate, I do not defend him. I do not stand by him. He's an actual shit person. I take back everything I've ever said because I thought it was a different person than I knew. Like, this is a different person. So maybe he is.
Has he not tried to reconcile?
I mean, I blocked him on everything, so which is good. Respect my boundaries.
But I think the thing that is interesting is that there's a little bit of a tide that's turning because in the past, Trisha has done things that I'm sure most of us don't agree with, some of which I find personally alarming. One that I tweeted about where she was essentially sexualizing minors. That was something that always comes to mind because I feel like it's not often referred to as much as other things that have happened with her. I don't really want to talk about Vlog Squad all that much, mainly because apart from saying that David Dobrik apparently is a horrible person according to Trisha, and based on the stories she told, it does sound like he's very much a questionable questionable person, to say the least, who takes advantage of people to make content and things like that. There's nothing more for me to say about that. The only last thing that I want to touch on in regards to Vlog Squad, and specifically David Dobrik, is that they often had this way of not only calling Trisha crazy, but kind of making her out to be this person who was deeply mentally unstable for the sole reason to invalidate her points. So it wasn't to just be like, oh, she's crazy, and, you know, of course, worsening the stigma with mental health, as if we needed that. But it always seemed like when she called them out, that was kind of the route they'd try to go down, which I don't think it's needed to say that it's fucked up. And Trisha Paytas also has talked online about having mental illnesses. Frankly, I'm not going to comment on that. I don't like to comment on people's mental illnesses. I don't share those experiences. I don't have the same mental illnesses, so there's really nothing for me to say. But for someone to try and exploit that in order to make themselves seem better is always disgusting, no matter what. So that's that on that. So the reason that I'm talking about this is because I feel like there is a tide that's slowly turning. So for years we saw Jeffree Star and Shane Dawson, they were critiqued, but they were never quote unquote canceled, or what I'd say here is more like held accountable really seriously until this point. Like, it's never been as severe as Shane having to go into hiding. It's never been as severe as Jeffree Star having his makeup in stores. He used to make fun of Kat Von D for having her makeup. We've never seen these types of repercussions. Most of the time, these people would get away with pretty much anything. And in that same vein, I think Trisha for quite a long time was not as well liked online as she is now. Now I think people are beginning to like her better, not necessarily because they're ignoring everything she did in the past, or because they quote unquote forgive everything she's done in the past if they're in the position to even do that. But I think it's because some of it is in connection to Vlog Squad, where she's been consistently painted as, you know, the kind of stereotypical hysterical woman like in the 1800s, where any woman who showed emotion and got mad about things was immediately deemed as like everything she said was either fake or an embellishment. But we're seeing that she's slowly being proven right about a certain amount of things. And because of that, I think a lot of the public has started to see a different side to her, which is something that I see a lot in the comment section of the Frenemies podcast. And I think the Frenemies podcast as well generally is in a way humanizing, because I think in some ways the Vlog Squad and everything that happened with them was dehumanizing, because it was like, oh, crazy Trisha, or some other insulting way to kind of just make her seem like the butt of the joke every time. Even in the podcast, she said she didn't mind being the butt of the joke sometimes, but when it comes to your credibility and talking about things that are serious, like someone having a quote unquote relationship with a minor, or like invalidating your own experiences with mental illness, or like essentially causing you to have severe mental breaks that result in having to go to the mental hospital. Like these are not things that you can really be the butt of the joke of without really hurting someone. I think the bigger part is that Trisha has been known online as a troll, and hence why there are certain things she can get away with that people will write off as trolling immediately. And like I said, I don't think trolling excuses everything, but I think also this podcast with H3 has given people the opportunity to see her in long form, where she has Ethan, who won't just let her always get away with everything that, you know, she can get away with in her own videos, because she runs her own videos on her own channel. There's always someone to respond and maybe disagree or show an opposing view. Anyways, guys, you can let me know what you think in the comments down below. You can let me know if there's a tide that's turning more in favor of Trisha now that, you know, more things are coming out, especially about how she was in some ways silenced by being ridiculed and treated as a quote unquote crazy person, like apparently the Vlog Squad did. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you to my patrons as always, and I'll catch you guys next time.